In intensive care units, vast amounts of data are generated at every moment. The Smart Assistance and Telemedicine System device, Monda, from the startup company Clinomic, can now do on its own what previously had to be painstakingly sifted through and evaluated by the treating and nursing staff.
We combine all kinds of state-of-the-art technology into one common system. That could be an artificial intelligence chipset from the company NVIDIA. We have a 180-degree camera that gives you a very good overview over the patient and your colleagues. We have 8 microphones. We have a radar sensor. So all the technology combined into one common product. And that is really the product we always as clinicians dreamed of. That's why we created the Monda system. So you can use your old technology that you're using, your medical devices, your vital sign monitors, your ventilation machines, everything is compatible to the system. So what you need is basically the Monda devices on the bedside, and you need a server. And this server we are installing within the premises of your hospital, combining all kinds of medical data into this particular interoperable platform. And these two components are basically what you need. What you don't need is you don't need any connection to a cloud service.
Currently, around 40 hospitals in 8 European countries are using the system.
We have very different use cases that we see within our customers. So smaller hospitals use it basically for basic digitization. We have medium hospitals who use it more for telemedical purposes. And we have larger hospitals who use it more or less for the data processing, the AI capabilities of the systems. One of the biggest learnings that we had also during the COVID pandemic is that you can use the Monda system to very efficiently build up large networks of hospital and digitization infrastructure. What we're basically receiving a lot of positive reactions to our systems. About 50% of our time that we spend as doctors and nurses in front of computer screens. That's 50% of the time that we don't spend with patients. So the digitization, but also digital solutions are urgently needed, in particular in very data-dense environment, which is intensive care medicine.
As practical and user-friendly as Monda is, the startup, which has been around since 2019, encountered major hurdles in its market launch, which Dr. Peine strongly criticizes.
So I guess the biggest problem that we have is uncertainty as a small or medium enterprise. So having clear regulations, even though they are strict, even though they are hard to pass, is acceptable for us because you can deal with it. Any kind of uncertainty, which gives you kind of wiggle room to how to interpret some stuff, or also authorities or other bodies are interpreting some kind of regulations. This is very toxic for companies like ours because it gives you some sense of uncertainty, also some sense of instability.
The way is now paved for Monda, and in addition to the many practical aids directly at the bedside, the data obtained can be helpful even more in the long term. That's because the system contains a data mining platform that anonymizes patient data and thus makes it usable for future purposes.
So within the Clinomic data mining platform, we are basically taking all the clinical data that is generated at bedside. We are processing it through some kind of interoperability step. And we are then anonymizing it to make patient data safe data that you can use for third uses. For example, for training, for example, for business analytics, for example, for science.